Today's episode of Literally is sponsored by Lowe's. Bus and truck, baby. You familiar with that phrase?
That's a tour concert,
right?
Rock and roll.
Yeah, the old summer stock theater. Oh God,
you're a big theater guy.
Yeah, we can talk, right? We good? We're rolling.
Preamble.
I don't want to miss any of the gold that's spewing.
I don't think any gold has spewed yet. There's just
we've
spewed.
Good. We don't need to do time countdowns. Any 3, 2, 1, click. Do one more time. 3, 2, 1.
Well, how are they going to do it if we're not? How are they going to be able to time it?
I don't know.
For people that don't understand, you're a movie star. In the movie business, the audio is recorded separately than the visual.
Yeah, that's right.
So they do this.
Yeah.
So if it's out of sync, they can look at my hands coming together and sync that sound. But if you are clapping at the same time and what, like how to...
I don't know. You'd think I'd be more technical.
But it would be great if this episode was totally out of sync.
It would be.
We could just loop it later. That'd be good.
Mike Myers does a great out of sync bit.
He does? What is it? I think
he did. I think it's in one of the, memory is serving, it's in one of the Austin Powers.
The one you were in?
I don't think it's in that one. That's really bad. That's why I'm not Mike Myers. That was not a good version.
But you're a funny guy.
I try. I grew up loving comedy. I grew up, I was alive and was like a young, impressionable, really young kid for the first year of SNL. With Chevy and Belushi.
I was a young child for, I think about, I don't know if some of my people are here, but how long was I young? Can
we get some research? When did Howie stop becoming young?
I know I was about 11. I was 11 years old for almost a year, but I don't know all the rest of my youth.
Right.
I'm older than you.
Yeah.
A lot older than you.
How old are you?
I'm going to be 70 this year.
No way.
Yes way. And
that makes me so happy.
That I'm almost dead?
No, that you look so fucking good and seem so like I would never, ever guess.
I said the guy sitting there in great shape with a full head of hair to the bald man with the white beard who doesn't remember how long he was young.
Listen, I don't... Walk me through because people who listen to my podcast know that I'm nothing if not just a narcissistic, vanity. Literally, nobody cares more about...
You're hard on the T on your title.
Literally.
I can't do the T that hard.
Hit it as hard as you can.
Literally. I wouldn't say that. I would never say that. Literally.
How about do it like a British person does it? Literally, where they put a SH
I'm not good with English accents.
They put an SH into it.
Do they?
Literally. Ooh, here comes my acting juice.
They tell me not to...
hey, thanks, man. Look at this. This is acting juice.
What is it?
It's 3 espresso shots and just a smidge of milk. Just enough to color it.
Wow.
Acting juice.
Caffeine.
Now
I would say, you're saying do a British accent. I'm not allowed. I'm so afraid of doing a British accent. They told me they would cancel me if I said, and I work with a lot of British people. I work with Simon Cowell and all these guys. If I tried to say you cannot with a British accent, that I could get canceled.
Yes, because that sounds like another word.
You cunt.
That's right. You can't say the word cunt.
Cunt.
You can't do
Dracula.
You know what kind of sugary cereals I used to like when I was a kid?
Cunt chocolate. You don't like them anymore? You still like them, you just don't eat them.
I love just a handful of fucking Captain Crunch.
Everything. I used to go, and I'm not exaggerating, I used to go cuckoo.
For Cocoa Puffs.
No, there was this little strawberry thing I liked.
What is the little strawberry thing?
I was just fucking with you.
I was going to say. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And it's so sad that stuff is literally, we literally know.
You're changing the way I've ever said the word. I like hearing you say it, but it's not how I would say it.
Well, and also apparently I use it incorrectly. Apparently they changed the dictionary version of it.
Because of you.
I'm not saying it was because of me.
Yeah, I think you are. You're insinuating.
I'm not. You are insinuating right now.
I think the story insinuates.
But there are now the dictionary has accepted the incorrect usage.
What does it mean?
That has been literally meant, I believe, until it was properly misused
by you.
It is exact. The definition would be exactly. A euphemism for exactly, right?
Yeah, the literal translation of what it means. The literal, if you took the word, exactly, this is not really what they mean, but if you take it literally, and then how did you use it?
It's as a indicator of something that is already obvious.
It was your catchphrase, right? On Parks.
It was
on Recreation. Was that in the script, or is it something you brought to it?
When I wrapped, Mike Schur, the brilliant creator writer of Parks and Recreation, sent me framed his original notes from our very first meeting, and in the very first meeting, Mike has written says literally a lot. So I think it was I probably overused the word, and I hammer it so hard. Somebody pointed out to me a scene in Wayne's World. That's 1993. In my character, I say, and so, and he literally lost his mind. So even in Wayne's World, I was butchering the word and hammering it. So it's become it's my catchphrase. I'd never had a catchphrase.
It's an honor.
It's an honor.
It really is.
Because when we grew up watching TV, everybody had it. You had Fonzie had A, and Jimmy J.J. Walker had
Dynamite.
Right. I mean, literally. Again, there it is.
Literally, everyone had one.
Literally, everyone. Have you had a catchphrase?
Yeah.
Hit me with it.
Deal or no deal? Yes.
Okay, so it's funny you bring that up. You do have that.
You brought it up. You said it was.
It's funny it's funny that I brought that up. Now that I am hosting the floor,
you're very good.
You think?
I do.
You're an expert.
I'm not an expert. I just know what I like, and I don't think. Here's my take. I didn't want to do a game show.
Me neither.
Well, you were a movie star. I talk about people who've been around as long as we have been around. Yes. I think I started around the same time you started, late 70s. Mm-hmm. There seemed to be, and I'm using the wrong term, but a hierarchy of, a movie star wouldn't do TV.
Yep.
A TV star or a movie star wouldn't do a commercial.
Yep.
A comedian wouldn't do a game show when irony is your currency. You know what I mean? You'd make fun. You would, kind of mimic a game show. What is the capital of? You would.
Yes.
So in 2005, I was literally leaving the business. I was over it. I had some great success. I had made enough money. My entrepreneurial spirit outweighs my show business spirit. I like real estate. Mm-hmm. I like other businesses. At that time, I had done a series, a dramatic series. I started with Denzel, on Elsewhere. I had done sitcoms and pilots. I had done movies. I walked away from movies. I didn't love doing movies. We could talk about that later. But my favorite thing, and still to this day, is stand-up comedy, live stand-up comedy. And in 2005, by 2005, I had gone from selling out arenas to barely getting, 50 or 60 tickets sold at a club like in Cleveland. I was auditioning for 5 Lines and Under for a little spot on maybe a weekly sitcom. And I was getting the shit kicked out of me, just out of my ego. And I said, what am I doing this for? And I'm not going to get any further in this. And as luck would have it, I get a call. I've told this story before, but I get a call from my manager, and it says NBC is doing this primetime game show, which was unusual. I think up until that point,
Yes.
Millionaire was like the big one of our generation.
That's right.
But they're doing a primetime game show. They're going to run 5 nights a week, and they can't do it without you. They want you. And I hung up the phone. I said, listen, my career is in the fucking toilet, and now I'm going to be the laughing stock. This is not the nail I want in the coffin of my career. And Michael, who's my manager, Michael Rodenberg, my best friend for life. Do you know who he is?
Rodenberg?
Three Arts.
Yes.
Yeah, because he produced
Of course.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
He came out here. He lived on my couch while he was going to law school. I was Three Arts' first client.
Wow.
I was his first client as a lawyer. I've known him since he was 12.
Holy smokes. Okay. Yeah.
So he calls me. He goes, they called me back. They want to just sit down with you. I go, I don't want to be on a fucking game show. He goes, well, it's all over the world, and NBC's going to put it on primetime 5 nights a week. And I said, that's even more. That's like 5 nails in my fucking cup. Then he said to me, will you just meet with them? And I go, you know what? I don't even want to go to a meeting. I'll tell you what's happening right now. I am at Jerry's Deli in the Valley having some soup. If whoever cannot do this without me would like to join me for soup, I'm happy to wait here and tell me what this brilliant idea is. I'll be here for another hour. So as luck would have it, Rob Smith from Endemol came out to the Valley, and I'll show you, and your guy can even take a picture of this. He comes out, he's got this Bristol board, this card that he cut. It looked like not a bright student had made an after-school project. It's not like he didn't go to Kinko.
Yeah.
He had made lines, 26 squares, and then he printed these little briefcases, and he moved my soup, and he put this card down, and he put all these briefcases from 1 to 26, and he says, one of these has $1 million in it, pick one, but don't show yourself. So I pick one, and he goes, okay, now I'm going to ask you to open up 6 cases, and whatever you pick is not in your case, right? I mean, it made no sense. I'm opening these papers and my soup. I'm eating soup and opening the cases, and he's not a host. And he goes, that's the show. I go, that's the show. And at this time, Punk'd was really big. And I thought I was being punked.
Wow.
That somebody just sat me at a deli, one of my friends who knew that my career was in the shitter, and was going to pitch a show that's not a show. There's no trivia, there's no skill, and here I am with a big piece of cardboard turning over, and he just keeps saying, open the case, and he goes, and that's the show. And I go, and you're telling me this is what NBC, this fucking stupid-ass hour that you just spent with me is what the network bought? And he goes, yeah, we can't do it without you. So I go home, this is a Friday. I go home.
Was he able to articulate what about you he wanted, other than the fact that you're you and you're great? It was like, we need your X, Y, or Z.
He didn't articulate that, but in another 2 minutes in this story, you will hear exactly what it is that the reason that they could not do it without me. And I'll tell you why. So this is a Friday. I go home and my wife says, what is it? And I said, I think I got punked, but nobody revealed themselves. They showed me the shitty thing, and they said that it's 5 nights a week on NBC. She goes, Howie, you're miserable. I've always been dealing with my mental health. And when my mental health is bad, everybody around me is having a miserable time. So she goes, just do it. What the fuck do you care? You're walking away from the business. Take a check. Take another check. And just, it doesn't matter. It's not like you're trying to get anything else. Take the deal. So I said, yeah, it kind of makes sense. So I called them back an hour later, and I said, you know what? I'll call Michael. I'll do it. And he gets them on the phone. And they go, thank God. This will not go without you. You are perfect for this. You are absolutely perfect for this. And I go, when are you taping? Like, what's your schedule? He goes, Monday. I go, Monday? Well, don't you have to build a set? Because it's built. I said, well, you said there's like 26 models. Don't you have to cast the models? They're all cast. So what was perfect about me is I was the first one that didn't say no. I can't tell you what number on that fucking list. I found out later, like I know Ellen was offered it and she said no. So what was so perfect about me? I am the last piece of shit dredge when you have nobody else to turn to. Howie Mandel may save the day. I even found out that the head of the network was going, nobody's going to want to watch Howie Mandel say deal or no deal. But here's what happened. So I said to them, under one, I have one, I'm not demanding, but if there's one thing I'd like, can I hire a friend who's a comedian to write for me? Because I want to be I'm going to be on prime time. I don't think this is a show. I don't know what it is. But maybe I can be a little bit entertaining, or maybe I can even showcase myself and some of the comedy I do. So I'd like to have a writer. So they hire a writer, and I'm sitting all weekend, all Saturday, all Sunday with him, and we're writing funny, we're little quips to say about the case, little things to say about the models, and I worked really hard. I work really hard and prepare for everything. Well, I didn't prepare for this.
Other than this interview. Yes, of course.
But anyway, so I go on Monday. And on Monday, I do the big lead up to and this is deal or no deal. It's the first time I say it. And let's bring out our first contestant. And my first contestant, I've done 500 episodes of Deal or No Deal. My first contestant was a young woman by the name of Karen Van. And Karen Van, I'll never forget her name, was there. And you know this. You've been in show business all your life. And now being on a game show, you'll even see it more because you're dealing with people who have not been on television. And if they get on this set, like the floor, which is this, like your set, is a fucking, spaceship.
It's a beast.
Yeah. It's a beast.
It's a beast.
But for somebody who doesn't even, it's even more. For somebody who comes from the middle of America and they're standing there and they're flown to Europe like on yours, and there's lights and there's cameras and there's Rob Lowe and there's everything. They're mesmerized by that and distracted by that. So I talked to this woman and I said, tell me about yourself. And she says, I have like 3 children and we live in an apartment. I just lost my job. We have no health insurance. We have nothing. And she picks a case and opens up the first couple of cases. And I try to be funny. And you could see that she's giggly and having a good time. And it's really not unfocused, kind of. Mm-hmm. You could tell she's not focused. And the first offer comes in. And this is the first time I've ever said to a real person, the banker tells me, we'll give her right now to go home $20,000. Like, even for me, like, that was such a knee-jerk, $20,000. Like, right now,
yeah.
It's $20,000. So I go, the offer is $20,000. Deal or no deal? I said it like that. And she goes, no deal. And I just got taken aback because, I kind of do understand. I didn't grow up rich. And I work really hard for my money. And I'm thinking, I can't remember where she's from, but she was from Oklahoma. She was from Ohio, someplace where I said, like, $20,000, you didn't even think. $20,000 is probably more than you've ever had in a bank account. $20,000 is definitely a down payment on a home at that time in 2005 outside of LA or New York.
Yep.
$20,000 will definitely buy health insurance. It would put one of your kids into college. And without a thought, you're just giggly and you're laughing. So what happened is, I got really, part of my mental health is my empathy outweighs anything sometimes, and in the moment. And I felt like I don't want to be responsible for you having such a good time that you're making bad decisions. So this is not important. You're a real person. I see your children there. I see your 3 boys there. This is real. So on the next offer, I slowed down and got my cadence. I threw away all the jokes because I said, I don't want to be responsible for a distraction that fucks you up and makes you nut. So I would say, Karen Van, the offer now is $40,000. $40,000, Karen. Have you ever had $40,000? No. What would $40,000 do to your life right now? And she would tell me, and it would be like, I've never even seen that kind of money. So you could take $40,000 right now, but if you don't, you have to open up 4 more cases. Now, the chances of this one being a million are 1 in 26. The chances of you opening up higher amounts are also really good, and your offer could go down. So I'm going to ask you. And I started talking to her like I talk to my children.
Yeah, right.
And I started going, deal or no deal? which gave it some gravity. So you would take a moment, and that's how they talk. I was so upset with myself after I finished taping because it was the first time in my life where I didn't play a character.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't doing stand-up. I wasn't doing jokes. I was just being Howie, and I just wanted you to leave in a better position than you came to the show in. And I was so embarrassed. When I went home, my wife said, "How did it go?" And I said, "Oh, fuck. I did nothing. I did nothing." And I said I was I couldn't even stand up. I was so tight the whole day because I wanted you to make I wanted you to make the right decisions. And when people didn't make the right decision, it was so hard for me not to throttle them and go, "What the fuck are you doing?" And it was also, so they would stop me in the teleprompter because I'd go, "Karen, $40,000 is a guarantee.
Right.
This is a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Is the guarantee worth giving up for this chance?" And they go, "Stop, don't lead her into taking the money." Because I would have never, I don't gamble, so I would have taken the money. So they would get mad at me because they felt like I was kind of espousing on what I believed that they should do. I was so embarrassed at the end of the taping because I told my wife, I felt like naked out there. I felt like I was just, they were watching, 2 hours of me with my kids and not being hopefully witty or funny or entertaining or an interesting character or anything. I was just being Howie. And so much so that it was going to air over the Christmas week. I said, "We got to get out of the fucking country. I don't want to see." This was before social media or anything. We flew to the Caribbean. I flew to some island that we didn't have TV and we didn't have internet. And I just wanted to be with my family. And on Monday morning, that guy, Rob is his name, Rob Smith, Rob called me, or Tuesday morning, Rob called me, got a hold of me on the island and said, "You're not going to believe it. 20 million people watched." I go, "Really?" And at first I got really excited, then I got really scared. So now 20 million people saw me do some shit that I'm not very proud of, but they must have had a really good campaign. He calls me the next day, it's 25 million. The next day, it went up every week. It was a smash hit. At Friday, on the Friday, over 100 million people watched that week, every episode. It went up, up, up. It became, it saved NBC. NBC was in the fucking toilet. They didn't have anything like it. In fact, that's why we got burnt out. We were the only thing that was doing anything. So when I flew back, I landed from the Caribbean. I landed in Miami. It was the first time, you talk about a catchphrase. I landed in Miami. I got off the plane. I walked into the terminal. And the first person I saw, not even 5 seconds, goes, "Deal or no deal?" And I went, "Deal." And then the next person went, "Deal." "Oh, it's the deal guy. Deal." It's the first time I ever had a catchphrase. And that is, to date, with all the things I've done, probably the brightest light, most success I've ever had in my career. That took off like crazy. Fox, your buddies, the next game show that came out in prime time, they hired Jeff Foxworthy to do Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? Then they hired all these other ones.
Right. That's right.
This is my camera. You're welcome, Steve Harvey.
Yeah.
And then
That's right.
I got an understanding to what people relate to. And I don't know you at all. I watch you on your show, and you have an authenticity and and you create a dramatic moments and funny moments and joyous moments. I don't think a lot of people can do what you do. And I think you're really good. And I think good game show hosting, there are few and far between. And I think that's a testament to why your show is, I don't know if you know the stats, but how many game shows come out a year? There's a reason why you've had success, and there's a reason why it gets renewed, and there's a reason why. And I think, not because I was a host, but I think it is the host. You can have a really good game, badly hosted, it'll fuck up. You can have an okay game, really well hosted, where you create drama. In moments, maybe there isn't drama, because you know the person and you hook it in. And I think it's a testament to who you are. You're a storyteller. Because you write books, you act, you tell stories and create characters. And I feel like sometimes you're looking, you see the drama in the moment,
Right.
You
Yes.
could just say, and this happened. Oh, that's correct. All right, so you got that square in the thing. You move
Right.
forward in that. You're telling me a great dramatic story where I'm on the edge of my seat, and I think that the host drives that, and I think you do that very well.
Thank you so much. That means a lot to me because I remember a Deal or No Deal coming out, and you're right. I mean, it was revolutionary. The suitcases, the models, the wall, like you immediately, and it's so funny that you say, wait a minute, this doesn't have any trivia or any, but it's so instantly compelling.
And that's humanity.
And that's what the floor is. It's
Absolutely.
It's instantly compelling. The barrier of entry, there's like, what I love about doing the floor is 8-year-olds come up to me who watch it with their parents. And in a world where the parents are watching Netflix and they were watching Nickelodeon or whatever the hell, everybody's siloed off to be a part of something that families can sit and watch together and both feel equally invested. That's the dream. And I love being able to orchestrate the emotions you were like.
But that's it. Orchestrating emotions,
Yes.
because there are, and I'm not knocking any other game show, but there are game shows just because of, even if I don't know the answer to the trivia question, I love to watch how they react to it or who they are going to, whether what their decisions are going to be in gameplay. And you play that well. You play that. I feel like as a host, and that's how I approached it. I don't know what's going on in your mind, but you play it. You play these little chess pieces. Okay, you got to this point.
Yep.
Now, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
And when you watch that, you could be 5, you could be 95. And if you look at the shows, TV's going away for all intents and purposes.
Yeah.
And and we are very siloed in how we get our information, how we get our news, how we play our games, how we're entertained. It's, I think if you can find something that is common ground for everybody to kind of hit a wide swath and you do that, then and I think it's because you've been around so long, you've done so many and continue to do so many different things that you have a capacity to understand what drew you to this, what would draw them to this, what draws this to that. There's, it's like writing a script, being a host.
It's kind, and you come from stand up. I had started touring a one-man show before I did the floor, and it's the same thing of like, it's like doing stand up, but also like you're an air traffic controller because it's like you have to keep track of the gameplay, how much money they've won, for me it's how much space they have on the floor, how long they've been there, all of that stuff getting synthesized into a story, into something relatable, and knowing where the drama is and when to shut up and when to be funny if you can be. One thing I did have them do is I had them put in what I call the Rob cam, and it's just a cam down low when they're playing the game. Like the show was on Fox and they had billionaires and Rupert Murdoch's picture came up and they're like, and I just looked.
Oh, that's great.
You know what I mean?
That's what I love of Carson. So for the people that don't know, Rupert Murdoch owns Fox.
Owns Fox, yes.
So they're in his fucking house.
They're in his house. They don't know who he is.
But I used to love that. I was a big Johnny Carson fan. And Johnny Carson, the best moments of Johnny Carson is when a guest said something to Johnny Carson that was ridiculous, funny, weird, awkward, or whatever. The fact that he could turn to us, and just give us a look. So knowing where that camera is, that was your idea. So
that was my idea,
right? So what I'm saying is, how do you tell a story? Whereas another lesser host would not have asked for that,
right?
And so all these billionaires would be up. They're on Fox. Rupert comes up. Nobody knows who it is. And they would go, well, he owns this network. And that's it. But to say that he owns this network and then take that moment, all of a sudden what you're doing, and I think that's what's key in everything that works today, one word. And it's literally engagement. If you can engage the audience, if you can make that person, those people, think that you're with them, if you could bring them in, and that's bringing them in. Something ridiculous happened, you and the audience can share that ridiculous moment.
That's right. Bringing them in.
I know I'm right. I'm very, very smart.
I love your entrepreneurial spirit. I feel a total kinship because I feel both a love and a deep ambivalence about show business. And I'm interested in where the world is going, as we all are. You've got technology here in this studio that is unbelievable. Where do you see our business going in the next 5 years? You have a fleet of gamers out there.
Mm-hmm. Where I see it going is I don't know. And that's the key. The key for me, I heard you on another interview earlier. You did Billy Bush's show, who I love, who does his show here. And you used one word, and this is my fuel for life, aside from whatever I need for health, but is curiosity. And curiosity is something that, is fluid when we're young. It's just bubbling over. And we like to let it, traditionally, we like to let it simmer and go away. And what happens when you're a kid, I'll talk about us as kids because they don't do that. Well, a kid will be online to see what everybody's wearing and everybody has and what the styles are, and then they try to emulate that. That's what media is, right? We used to listen to the radio when we were kids, and whatever the music, that's what I had to do, and I had to dress like that person, and that's the album I had to buy, and that's the music I had to go to, and these are the kicks that I need to wear, and that's it. And then what happens is as you get older, you realize, well, that takes a lot of energy. So I'm comfortable. I don't want to, the latest music doesn't really, I don't have to tune in. I like what I'm listening to. I like the Eagles. I'm going to listen to the Eagles. I love the Eagles.
Oh, I love the Eagles.
My favorite album of all time, not the Eagles, was Dark Side of the Moon, Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon.
I mentioned it in the previous podcast.
You did. That's why I'm mentioning it again.
Yeah.
But that was my favorite of all time. But anyway, I like that. And I get it. I get that I love that. When a younger person, and I happen to love hip hop now too, but when a younger person is listening to hip hop or rap or whatever, or something new and something different, there's a lot of people my age that would say, "You think that's good? Listen to this."
Yeah,
and they'd listen to the Eagles. That's good. Well, the truth of the matter is that I don't know that if the Beatles came around today, if they would make it with those lyrics and those songs. Music is emblematic of our culture, emblematic of what is going on right now. I Want to Hold Your Hand is not something that speaks to people.
No.
Whereas,
even if you told them what the hand was a euphemism for.
Right. So what happens now is, it's really, this is how, and I'm going to tell you the story of how I got interested in even technology. My son, who built the studio, about 20 years ago, maybe a little bit more, I called him at home at 3:00 in the afternoon, and he was sleeping. I woke him up, and I went, "What the fuck are you doing sleeping at 3:00? You're like 20 years old. You need to get a job. You need to, or 18 years old, you need to get a job. You can't be sleeping." He goes, "I was working all night, Dad." I go, "You're working all night? What do you do? What is this night shift that you've created?" And he goes, "I was doing YouTube." And I go, "What?" I don't even know what that means. What is, I know what YouTube is. You were doing YouTube and you do you work at YouTube? No. Well, exactly, literally, what were you doing last night? And he goes, "Well, we were downtown, we're dropping water balloons off the buildings." I go, "I told you, get a fucking job." He goes, "No, I'm doing good with this." I go, "You do? Who pays you?" He goes, "YouTube pays me. Come on over." And I went over, and he shows me a check for 15, 20 grand. And I went, "Are you kidding? How does this work?" And he goes, "I'll show you. YouTube has all this ad revenue." And he shows me a clip on YouTube, and it's got 100 million clicks. And it's comedy, supposedly. It says, and I'm reading the comments and goes, "This is hysterical. This is the funniest thing I've ever seen. This is amazing. Where did you come up with this idea?" So number one, nothing I've ever done has had 100 million viewers. Okay. Even the end of the Johnny Carson show, the last episode probably had 40 million, 50 million. MASH, when it ended, it had 60 million. I think it set a record. Who gets 100 fucking million people watching? And everybody is saying this is great comedy. And I'm being honest with you, I didn't get it. I didn't see it. I didn't even know it was comedy. And
what was it? The balloon thing? What was it?
No. It was something else. I can't remember what he showed me. He's here.
Yep.
But anyway, I can't remember what he showed me. But here's the point. The point that I'm making is whether you like music or when we were younger, I talk about Pink Floyd. I love Pink Floyd. If Pink Floyd sold out the Hollywood Bowl, I would go to see Pink Floyd. If another group sold out the Hollywood Bowl that was just as big, I would know who they are and maybe don't like their music, right? But I know who they are. You can't be at the Hollywood Bowl and sell it out and me not know who you are.
Yes.
Now there are acts at the Hollywood Bowl playing multiple nights, a full week,
Never
sold
heard
out.
of them.
Never heard of them.
Never
You're talking,
heard of
going back to the siloed effect.
Yep.
What bothered me is that there's in my world, there's a difference between Dennis Miller and Carrot Top, who I love them both, and I understand why some people like if you're a big Dennis Miller fan, you probably are not as big a Carrot Top fan, who I think is brilliant and actually does better than Dennis Miller. He's been selling out Vegas for 20 years now, but I understand what you're attracted to. When I don't understand the language, and it's in my world of comedy, when I don't understand the language and 100 million people are clicking on and loving it, I went, holy fuck, I've left the planet. So that kind of clicked in me, and I've been voraciously from that day on trying to understand now. And by now, I mean, I do, and it's a problem. I talked to my therapist about it. I live on social media. I live on every platform that exists for fear that I don't have a reference to what's going on, to what people are doing, to what people think are funny, to what people are responding to what people are being entertained by. And that awakened a new curiosity in this twilight of my existence that every day I just want to know. It's kind of like if we made a decision today that I'd like to live this year in Italy, you would be dropped into Italy. I don't speak the language, but you'd have to know, like, what do they do? How do I ask for this? What are they doing? Oh, this is what we do when we live here. I feel like culture is a constant flow. It's the language always changes the way, and I've gotten into that. So I'm paddling along with this wave. When you say, where is it leading in 5 years? I don't know. But I do know it's moving. So what I do know is it's not 5 years, tomorrow or today. You saw technology here, the hologram. I was just sitting, during COVID, I was sitting on Zoom every day, doing Zoom talk shows, doing Zoom meetings, doing Zoom. And then I saw David Nussbaum from this Proto hologram, at Proto on Instagram. I saw it on Instagram and I said, oh, this looks like more fun than Zoom. So I DM'd him and I said, I'd like to work with you. Just maybe he'd put me on one, on a Zoom, like not thinking I'd make money. He said, come see me. He had a small office in Pasadena at the time. We got together. He said, I'm expanding. I said, I have property. This turned out to be the head office. I ended up investing in it. It's probably one of the most exciting things. So right now, to me, this is like, I talk about Proto. It's like when I first somebody talked me into abandoning my BlackBerry years ago.
I loved the BlackBerry.
Me too, and especially I'm Canadian, so that's my hometown.
One of the great fumbles of all time.
Yes. Oh, we could talk about that for hours.
Oh, bro. And by the way, and very Canadianly done.
The fumble?
Yeah, I feel.
Why? Nobody said sorry.
No, but it's and I shoot a lot in Canada, so and I understand Canadians very well, but it's like, well, we think it's kind of good the way it is, eh?
You're right.
Do you know what I mean? Oh, yeah,
they're not aggressive. And you need to be aggressive in life. You're right. That aggressively, even jumping on when there was a problem in the moment.
Right.
When it went down. And that's when it's kind of like Betamax and VHS.
It's kind of like, it's like great is good, but good is great.
That's Canada. Well, I'm
it's
here.
Canada.
I'm here. But I love Canada.
Me too.
I love you, Canada.
We love you, Canada.
Okay. So anyway, I got my iPhone. And,
I got a great iPhone story for you, but go ahead.
Tell me. Or tell me on mine.
Okay,
You're going to be on my podcast.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Save it for your podcast. Make a note. iPhone story.
I'll tell a great iPhone story on his, and then I'll say
and then iPhone will become major sponsors of both of our shows.
Will somebody call Apple now? Anyway, so but it's not a great iPhone story. I got my iPhone and I thought, oh my God, this is like ergonomic. You know, it's really nice. There's no buttons. There's no clicking. There's this thing. This is a great phone. And then I discovered I could take a picture with this. I don't need my camera. And these pictures are really, really good. Like better than I take with my camera. And I'm going to take pictures. And then I said, if I don't want to make a phone call, I could text somebody. I can go, hey, I'll be there in 10 minutes. I could text somebody. And then I said, I can email. This is my computer. This is my camera. This is my computer. This is how I could Google things. And this is my dictionary. I could find out the new meaning of literally. I can do everything. The last thing I do each and every day on my iPhone, very rarely, I make a phone call.
Yeah, yeah.
So by the same token, when I found Proto, I said, okay, this will be a new kind of Zoom. The last thing, that's the low-hanging fruit. I'll show you after, is that my ability to be at home in front of an iPhone, that's how you have to be on one side, and to beam all over the globe with no latency in real time, in any language, in real time, and talk to anybody and understand them in real time. And, whether it's for medicine, it's making inroads in medicine, whether it's making inroads in education, whether it's making inroads in commerce. They've done over $3 billion worth of art sales now. We're partners with Christie's. Christie's now doesn't have to pick up art and take it someplace. And
that's amazing.
Right. So the carbon footprint is down. They don't have to insure it. They don't have to worry about it being damaged and going someplace. You walk into any Christie's, you'll see a Proto there. People are buying and auctioning off of what they see on Proto. I know that somebody spent $40 million on a Giacometti sculpture that they never saw in person, but they could have. That's like seeing it in person. It's clearer than in person. So it's been and there's that. There's people who game. I love that, the whole Twitch universe. TikTok's my wife is so angry at me. She thinks I'm on TikTok too much, and I think she does. Well, I know she doesn't get it. Like, first of all, the algorithm alone. Here's the other thing. Let me just say this. Is it Chinese spyware? I believe 100% it is. And how about this? I don't care. Either do I.
I don't give a fuck. And here's why. For me, I want to say, honey, my privacy ship sailed away really since the time I'm 15. I have no privacy. I've come to terms with that a long time ago.
But what do you have to hide?
Like, and the other thing is, what do I have to hide?
Nobody in China is going, you know what Rob Lowe did?
Yeah, they don't care. They don't. Nobody cares. And if, by the way, if you don't think our government can't turn on our phones, I know they can anytime they want and see where we are and listen.
I talked about that the other night on stage. We were talking. I had the iPhone beside the bed, and my wife says, "I want to redo the bedroom. I want to get even just a new bed or something." 3 hours later, I'm trying to drive out here to Van Nuys. Took a shortcut through the alley. I saw 3 mattresses in the alley. They're listening.
That's what they do. That's a glitch in the matrix.
I think so. Stained. There were a lot of stains.
Ew. Tell me about, and I know how much you would like that. Tell me, okay, so let me ask you this. You've worked in every medium. I've worked in every medium. I agree with you. You invented the modern day game show, and when you did it, it was a barrier to which people did not cross. You were the first to do it. I come into it, and Mike Myers has done it. Alec Baldwin has done it. That barrier is. Before
you finish the question,
look at this light.
Your people, not me. Your people put the wrap it up light on. I don't know who decided, and they put it by me so that I'm self-conscious that somebody in the other room is listening to us and saying, Rob, enough, Howie. Please, it's enough.
No. Let me point this out. Who was talking when it came on? Wasn't you.
It's getting even bright. Like, enough. What are you doing?
They didn't cut you off. Just for the record, they cut me off.
Who's making the decision?
But wait a minute. You're a big Carson, Leno guy. You never, didn't you go on those shows and they were looking past you at the producer counting down? You never had that experience?
I have an idea.
What, put it on your noggin?
No, they did. They didn't want me on Carson. I have the front row of the Tonight Show here.
No way.
I swear, you probably sat in front of those seats forever. I'm such a collector. No, the litmus test for being a comedian.
Yes, was being invited to the couch.
Was being on Carson. You know, before I did Mike Douglas and Merv Griffin,
Yes.
and on all these other shows before, and I did Make Me Laugh, and I did all these shows. And if somebody didn't know you, they would come up and they go, "What do you do?" And you go, "I'm a comedian, and I'm a stand-up comedian." And they're anybody outside of the business, in the business, going, "Have you ever been on Johnny?" That was the litmus test for being. Then you're not a comedian. I could never get on Johnny. There was a
what? Wait, whoa. You were never on Carson.
No, I was. I'll tell you.
Okay.
That
All right.
I was.
I was going to say.
But for years, I didn't do it till 84. I had been in the business since 77. But I would call Jim McCauley, who was the guy who booked all the comedians, came and saw me at the Comedy Store. I would showcase. He'd go, "You'll never be on. You're not his cup of tea." And then, as luck would have it, one night, Joan Rivers, who was the, you have a Joan Rivers story too?
I never did. My biggest regret is I never did Carson, because in the era when I was doing that, you wanted to be on Joan because she rated better.
Absolutely right. Joan rated better.
Way better.
But she used to be the guest host.
Yep.
So when she was the guest host, she lived in New York, but she would come out here and she would do her monologues at the Comedy Store. She'd work out her comedy. You know, it's the gym for stand-up comedy where you work it out.
Yep.
And one night I was on after her. I mean, right before her. And she saw me, and as she was walking up to the stage, she goes, "You're very funny." And I waited till after she finished her set. And when she saw me, she goes, "Have you ever been on the Tonight Show?" I go, "No." She goes, "I'm doing it next week. Do you want to be on?" And I said, "Yeah." So I called. She had Billy Samuth was her manager.
Yes.
And do you remember Billy?
Oh, yes.
You know, did you see her documentary?
No, it's on
He quit in the middle. He quit, and he got a job at Starbucks. And I called him to thought what he did. And I called him one day at 9 o'clock in the morning. And he goes, "You know, I've been here since 5:30 and I've already made over $8 in tips." Anyway, but he used to manage her and Cher and was it Dolly? I know he worked with Sandy Gall. Yeah, Sandy Gall. So anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So she said, so I went and did it, and I did it with Joan. And it went really well. I get a call the next morning saying, "Johnny saw me on TV. He wants you on next week." So I went and did it with Johnny. And then I ended up doing it 22 times with Johnny.
Oh, that's amazing.
Until he banned me.
Okay, that we're saving for your...
Okay.
And we're going to go
That's
to your...
his key light from NBC. That light right
Wait,
there.
that is Johnny Carson's key light.
Yeah, from Burbank. And that was shining on his desk. That's his key light. You don't see those lights anymore.
I remember those lights. You really don't.
No,
Oh my
that
God.
used to be big movie. I forget what those are called. What are they called?
Klieg lights?
Klieg lights?
Yeah.
Isn't Klieg lights the things that went like that?
No. Oh, you know what? You're right. Those are Klieg lights.
Yeah.
God damn. Arc lights?
Arc lights.
Arc lights.
Well, somebody knows.
Somebody
Does
knows.
somebody knows what those kind of lights? Oh, I can't. Enough.
All right.
Please.
This has been great.
It has been great. Literally.
There's so much to talk about that I'm going to come do your show now.
Yeah, Howie Mandel does stuff. Literally an amazing time. I've been following you for years. I'm a big fan. I've never really, have we met? I don't think we have.
And it's so rare.
It is rare. It's a small town.
Like everybody knows everybody, and the
Not
fact
us.
that no, this is amazing. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Literally, sponsored by Lowe's.